So you can see there on the actual template sheet, so a lot of people have seen me do this, and I'm going to try and do it during demonstration as well, about the printing with FuserWeb and printing onto fabric. So your actual sheet there that you can see, that's actually calico. So that's a calico printed sheet, so it's a fabric printed sheet. You've got a template that we're going to do in demo to give you a bit of inspiration with the fabric envelope, and then below it you've got lots of different sayings and verses that we can cut out and we can stitch on to different makes. We can stick it on with a FuserWeb, because on the back of it you've already got the FuserWeb, so you're actually getting that sheet. What I've also put in the kit as well is an extra A4 FuserWeb sheet and an extra A4 calico sheet, so you can have a go at sticking it together and printing yourself. So it's pre-cut, ready to go for using in your printer at home to put some printing on the actual sheet.
So that's the extra FuserWeb that you are getting, and then the calico, so you can do the extra.
Exactly.
Now, I was thinking, can you print colour to calico?
You can, yes. So I've only got a black and white printer with me, but you can do some colour. I will try and do some in the next couple of weeks at home, but I will show you later in one of the demonstrations about images on there as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah. I was thinking about pictures, printing pictures into it. Right, if you want to look, you are getting, oh, look at those beautiful buttons. I love buttons. I just think that they kind of add that.
Yeah, no, I'm a massive fan for buttons, and a lot of people have seen on my Facebook page with my mum, we've collected buttons over the years and we like to sort through buttons. So the idea of the pack there is there's so much inspiration that we can do with all the beautiful little fabrics there. So you've got all your 10-inch squares, some really, really great designs. I think I'm going to try and use that one in demo, because I love that.
I think
love the little buses.
Absolutely.
I remember when studying in London, getting the bus every day to my studies.
Yeah. You know, for me, that I like in Spain is not. We don't have double deckers. So the first time I came to the UK was like, I need to go into the. It's so exciting, and of course.
Well, I grew up very rural, so I never really went, apart from the odd school bus. Didn't really go on many buses, so when I moved to London to study, to go on a double-decker was so exciting, wasn't it?
Absolutely, super exciting. But look, the brightness, I love these butterflies as well. So you have got some bright, cheerful colours in there, as well as the polka dots that kind of blend it a little bit more.
Yeah, no, definitely. So you can have a different variation there. That's a bit of fun, that, isn't it? Now, the contents may vary, or are you going to... No, it's all the same. So you do know what you're getting in that little kit. So you're getting all those little fabrics, all those designs there with your FuserWeb, some instructions on there for the FuserWeb printing. And like I say, you get the extra sheets there as well, and you all get your template with all the words on there. So if you haven't got a printer, I was very conscious of the fact some people don't have printers. So you've already got the sheet there with the words on there that you can cut out and use on your makes. And a little bit of hessian as well. Yeah, you've got to have a bit of hessian. Absolutely, a beautiful texture as well. Right, if you want to go for this bundle, look at that value for money. You are getting all those elements for just £12.99 with a saving of £4. It's fabulous to have a play around, and you have also instructions on how to use it. Yeah, so the little instructions there about the FuserWeb, about how we use it, and again, play with it. Absolutely. 281724 is your item number if you want to remember. Fabulous value for money for just £12.99 this bundle. Now we are getting in to the stash box. Now the stash box here that we have. Now this is a bundle of gorgeous surprises. Just all sorts. The pleasure for me, I have to say, it's probably kept me sane during lockdown, is creating these lovely boxes. So there are some more lovely boxes for you today. So there's a variety of bits and pieces in there, and really do have a little rummage in there, Paola, because you'll see no box will be the same. You might recognise bits and pieces, you might get a bit of this, a bit of that. The key is that it comes to your door and there's that little surprise that you'll get to open and have a little bit of fun, using hopefully some of the inspiration that I do with the FuserWeb. Each box will get a mini roll of FuserWeb, and there will be a frame in there that you can play around as well. But there's buttons, there's a little bag of bits and pieces that is definitely a family created box. So myself, my daughter Lily, my mum, we've all had fun creating these and having fun creating these little boxes, so you can have a little bit of surprise at home, really, Paola. It keeps on going. Are you also putting a FuserWeb related? Yeah, so there'll be a small piece of FuserWeb in there, so if you haven't used it or you just need a little top up, that will be in the box as well. I mean, I'm kind of keep on going. I love these little squares of vintage. That could make a very, if you are a card maker as well as
Yes,
a stuff crafter,
definitely.
elements like these. I mean, I just kind of wrinkle it a little bit. Love that. Look, look at that. It's so, I mean, and it keeps on going. I'm going to show. Look, all that still. Look at that, and all this as well. It's fabulous value for money, and I love the fact of opening a box and then suddenly finding all these joys. Do you find as well that it's easier to grab a piece of here rather than going to your stash and then kind of
I think sometimes as well we're all guilty of it, and I'm the same. Got piles of fabric and piles of craft, as most crafters, but sometimes just having that little box and just opening that up and seeing a little bit of inspiration come out and gives you a little idea that will come from that box.
One of the things, the expressions for crafting that paper crafting that they use in America as well is like a mojo busting kit.
Yeah, I
you
like
know,
that.
You kind of suddenly it's like, oh, those two colors suddenly go really well together, which you would have never thought about.
No, definitely, yeah, and it does do that inspiration coming through. And I say it is a pleasure to actually bring them on and just have that fun element in there.
Absolutely.
That you know you will probably spend all day just going through and have a look. Oh, what can I do with this and what can I do with that? And there's all sorts, different weights, different sizes, smaller pieces. There's fat quarters, there's linens, there's cottons. You get a little bag of bits and pieces as well, which is great. So a little bit of inspiration in there as well. So if you're scrapbooking, if you're doing your journaling and all sorts, whether it's paper and fabric, there's all sorts in the little bag.
Absolutely, and you have the little tag, of course.
Always get a little peg.
Yeah,
I love putting a peg in. I think there's so much you can do with pegs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
126261 is your item number. Fabulous value for money, because for £19.99, well, look at you could get. Obviously, contents may vary, well, will vary actually, but that's the beauty of that. Now you have got a £5 saving, and you're just paying £19.99. Right now, talking about essentials, talking about Feefo Web, we have a kit that I think most crafters will need in their life.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is my #1 essential. So this is a little bundle that I put together a few weeks ago, and it has been very popular because I think the key is that it's on a roll, and I love the fact I've always got my little roll of calico or my little roll of Feefo Web that I can roll a piece out and cut it off. So you get the two in there. You get your Feefo Web and your calico. There's 1.5 meters on each roll as well. So there's a lot there for your money. Little instruction sheet to tell you how to use the Feefo Web, give you some little ideas and pointers, but it's just a really nice handy size that's always around on my crafting table, ready to use.
Absolutely. And the fact that it's the nice width, as you know, sometimes I'm really scared to cut into a bigger piece of fabric because it's like, well, what if I cut it wrong? And then I wanted having it a roll doesn't take as much space. No, you're getting, is it 1.5 meters of each?
1.5 meters of each.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
So,
and I think as well, the cotton, the calico there is so soft. It's really, really nice weight to it. I've purposely designed it in those sizes because it is a good size for if we're printing on, if we're embroidering on, like say we can cut little squares from it, we can do all sorts with it, even if we're painting on it as well.
Of course we could, we could. Now 812514 is your item number, 11.99 is your price, you're saving £3. I was kind of thinking that sort of a structure is really nice for also for like a Japanese sort of element.
A little hanger, yes,
absolutely.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. Right, and now moving on to the poplins, we have a pick and mix. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what is a cotton poplin?
Yeah, so the cotton poplin, it's more about the weight. So the weight there is, it's a really, really soft weight. So this beautiful range from Material Magic is a pick and mix. So you've got any 2.5 meters there on those colours. I mean, they're superb weight. So I recommend a poplin generally for your quilting, your patchwork, dressmaking. It's got a lot of variety there, but also with your mixed media. So if we want to mix it in with the fabrics from the kit, if we want to back the fabrics from our little envelope kit, then it's a great weight for that as well.
Absolutely, I adore it. I mean, obviously, I'm very drawn to the red in here. You know, who would have guessed? But of course, you have got essential colors like white. You have got the black. You have got mint, beautiful navy blues, grays. You have you know, of whites. You know, you have creams as well. So you have every single kind of shade that you need. Also, I was thinking for binding the quilts as well. That would be really
definitely.
good.
I think the key is as well that the variety of colour that you've got, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
you know, we're backing things, we're backing cushions, we're backing journals.
Absolutely.
You know, we're quilting with it, we're backing our quilt. It's a really good... Do bear in mind as well, if you choose two of the same colour, it will come in a continuous length.
Oh, that's a good point. Can I open one?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you've got to go for the red. That's my favourite.
I didn't even have to think.
Actually, red is my favourite colour.
Oh,
although people will know that I do wear a lot of blue.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, red is my favourite colour.
Well, so is mine. So you know, it's absolutely gorgeous. Look, but it's such a proper red as well, though.
And it's a great width as well. You get a lot of fabric for your money there.
That's what I was thinking, because I'm struggling here.
Yeah, no, it's a really good width.
Absolutely. Now, we had so if it was two, for instance, if you go for two of the red, you said it was a continuous piece.
Yes.
Now, if we buy more than one bundle, would it be still like a 4 meter?
Yeah, no, definitely. If it comes through on the order, make sure that it's all cut in a continuous length.
So, for dressmaking is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Or if you're like our director, you want to be a superhero and you want to create a cape, you know, you can do that as well. Right, if you want to go for this pick and mix of the ½ meter of the cotton poplin, the item number is 079751, and then you can pick any two. Red, obviously, one of the choices. Just joking. And $9.99 is your price. Now, the stash box, well, it's very busy. 20% of the stock has already gone. Very, very, very popular. If you want it, remember, includes a frame, and the contents will vary, but you have got there a fabulous bundle, a box of joy. 126261 is your item number. Remember, 20% already gone, and we are not even 15 minutes into the show. So make sure to check out your baskets and not miss out in a box of surprises, a delightful surprises. Right, right, Joe, well, what are you going to show us?
So I'm going to go for the little fabric envelope. So we've got the fabric envelope sheet here. As you can see, I'm going to turn it over there. That's fuser web on the back. So it's already stuck, ready for you to go, that we've printed on. A bit later we're going to have a look at printing on that, but it shows you straight away. We've got the instructions on here. We've got some nice little details. I love the fact that I've put these little details on here as well, because we can cut these out and we can use these. And you will see here on one of my little envelopes that I did with Lily that we've got a pair of scissors on there. So we can use all the details on there. So the idea that this came around is during lockdown, it was a case of nipping to the local shop. And obviously with no money, it's all card payments, and I've always had a card in my pocket, and Lily said to me, look, it's going to get ruined, we're going to lose it, and I would lose it because I generally lose things. So we thought, let's create something that we could put it in, which came past our little fabric envelope. And also the key is with this, that we can enlarge this and make it bigger, so it's a concept that we can use. But we've put all these lovely little fonts on here that we can cut out, which we will do later, and we'll play around with them as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down the line to my font away. So I've just got my envelope itself. So I'll pop that there.
So keep that safe.
You see my little pin cushion from
that's so cute.
Yeah, there he is. Edward the elephant.
No.
My new pin cushion.
You made it into one of the shows, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it was great fun. So some beautiful fabrics there.
Absolutely.
So I'm literally, all I'm going to do is follow the instructions, and I'm going to cut the actual shape out itself. Try not to cut out my scissors and my little details on there, because we will use those. You know, they're a nice little detail that we can use. And I was very conscious that I have been doing the printing quite a bit, and that, like I said earlier, Paola, that not everybody's got a printer at home. We have at the moment, because obviously I do a lot of this printing, but with homeschooling as well. But a lot of people like myself, with our other printer, it sits there and never has any ink in it. So I thought, let's produce a little sheet that we can play with some fonts as well. So all I've done first is going to cut the shape out, and there's two little nicks in there as well. Okay, like
Our
so.
producer suggesting that the envelope would be a lovely tooth fairy little pouch.
That's a great idea. I love it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, or just, you know what, getting a little gift through the post at the moment, I think just puts a big smile on our faces. I know my mum and my daughter, they've been sending each other letters, and they've really enjoyed it. You know, it's a really nice thing at the moment just to get something through the post. So
seeds to plant you know, like a plant, like
yes,
you know, could be a
like
flowery.
that.
Yeah.
So what we've got there, we've got our little template all ready to go. I did say I'm going to use it, and I'm going to have to go with it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
beautiful buses there. So I'm going to pop that down there. And what we're going to do, we're going to fold our fabric out like so. You've got a crease in there, but don't worry, because with the fuser web, that will get rid of it. We'll turn it face down, and you can see here, all I'm going to do is peel the backing off. So the backing, this is where we know the fuser web is stuck. What you should be left with is a crispy piece of paper.
Right.
If it's not crispy, you'll know when you're pulling it off. So that's what you should be left with. And all we're going to do is going to pop that on our little design of our buses. Try not to waste any fabric, because I'm sure we'll use that. I'll get my trusty iron.
So we have with this the printed calico, we have the template, the binding or the binding element, the sewing element, and we have as well the lining of the envelope.
Yeah, so definitely you've got everything in there. The key is that it is ready to go. The sheet is ready to go. What I've done is in that kit is giving you extra 2 sheets, so you can also have a go at printing something else or print another envelope.
Absolutely.
You know, what we did at home, when myself and Lily were making these, we actually cut round one and drew it onto some cards, so we had a template of it all the time, so we can make some more. So I'm going to turn that over, just to give it a little bit of heat on the other side, and then we're going to cut that shape out.
And I was thinking as well, with the extra calico on a fuser web that you have given us. So if somebody has dyes that are, you know, mixed media dyes or something like that, they could use them as well.
No, definitely, yeah. And that's the beauty with the calico. I've painted on it, printed on it, embroidered on it, stitched on it, all sorts, literally combining with it. So we could do everything with it. And then because we've got the fuser web sheet, we can stick it straight on. So if you're not a confident sewer and you just want to have a little go, it's a really good starting point to start using soft craft. You know, because I'm never going to say, and everyone knows this, I'm not the greatest sewer in the world, but I love fabric and love using it in different projects and combining it with my mixed media as well, Paula.
Yeah,
you know, combining it with our journaling. So whether it's a bit of card and a bit of paper. We'll try, if we have time, we'll have a look at using those 2 elements together as well. So don't be frightened to use them.
And
so
we were talking as well about, you know, homeschooling, and a lot of people now finding, you know, the joys of teaching, crafting, or, you know, after hours or whenever, because the kids need to be entertained, but also be taught some life skills. Yeah,
no, definitely. Yeah, it is about life skills, but also for me massively, and my mum, she'll say the same, that it is that release and that well-being, that sometimes we just need something to take our minds away from the everyday. And for me, this is why I love crafting.
Me too.
Because it is, I'm always on the go, 100 miles per hour and everything, and I think craft does slow me down a little bit and gives me time to think and just enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Just enjoy it.
And the sense is funny, because even after 18 years of maybe a professional crafter, I still kind of like on my days off will craft a little. And the sense of achievement is still that joy that you get.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It hasn't dulled down.
Yeah, and I'm not a professional crafter.
You are.
But it is why Make It Joe, because people give me stuff and say, can you make it, can you do something, and I love that element. So we've got our beautiful bust fabric there, we've got our template. All I'm going to do now is I've got a steel rule, and we're going to start folding over our lines. So on the instruction sheet it says to fold the line, so you'll see this line here as a fold, and we're literally going to put our ruler there, and we're going to fold it up a little bit, okay, just to get that score line. Then we're going to get our iron, just to put that crease in. Okay, so this is a really nice little project that we can do, and it's one of my TV projects, I like to call them, where, you know, you can sit on your lap and do it, watching TV, watching Hochanda, get some inspiration. You can leave it, you can come back to it. It's a really nice little project to make, whether you're young or old. So we're just folding over and making sure we've got a crisp iron on there. We're going to go now to the side. Here we go. I'm going to fold in that side. So I'm just following all those fold lines. There we go. And it's just something a little bit different as well. You know, like I say, sending a little gift to somebody, this would be great. You know, pop it in the post with something in there, a little keepsake. your tooth, as you said. Yeah, the tooth fairy bin.
Let's hope that
This
it's
is a
not
great-
an
I like
adult
that.
teeth.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit scary, you know.
Paola's tooth through the post. Yeah,
no,
I think
please,
we'll give
no,
that one a
that's
miss.
just like
There
too
we
early in
go.
the morning.
So we're doing the sides. What you'll see now, I'm just going to open it up again. You've got the two flaps on the side here. So we're going to get a little bit of fuser web, okay, and we're going to basically cut a little bit of fuser web to go on that flap. Okay, I'm just going to cut a piece there. Don't think I have a pen, but it's okay. There we go. A little piece there. So that will go in there. Just snip that off the end. Okay. And on this side,
Yeah.
this is where I'm concentrating, look. All goes quiet. So a nice little snip there. Only need a little piece. It just keeps it all together. Okay, and what we're going to do is turn it over. And then this little piece of fuser web will go on the actual
I
fabric
see.
side. Okay? So it
And
actually
that will-
goes on the fabric side. And we're going to iron that on. You can start to see now, with the fuser web, you have the glue side. So you must keep the glue side, obviously, away from your iron. I've done it. I did it yesterday and I had to clean my iron. It was all sticky, so I was rushing, I think, or trying to multitask. Apparently, we can't multitask, men.
Oh, you can, of course. Some men can, some women can.
I
some,
don't know.
You know, it's just, you know, let's be very clear that we are not discriminating genders about multitasking.
So really, really simple there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab from my little box down here, a little button.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we now put all the components together, we must get our little button, okay, and a needle and thread from Edward. Come here, Edward. There we go.
Edward the elephant.
Edward the elephant. And we're just going to fold that over so we can roughly estimate where the middle of our button's going to go. And then we're going to sew that button on the bottom flap.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to do that.
So that's literally the only sewing that you're
That's
doing.
the only sewing on this. We can if we wanted to, and there's some of them we did, you can stitch around it, but there's no need because it is that little mini make that obviously we're going to use. We're going to put different stuff in there. We can put keepsakes, Paola's teeth.
Please don't. I know, it's one of, I think it's one
I'm never
going to
forget that now.
It wasn't
That's
me,
it
it
now.
was Charlotte's idea. So let's just
Charlotte,
be very
well
clear.
done. That's a great idea. I love it.
I mean, she didn't want my teeth. I mean, she's not that creepy.
So I'm literally just going to do one more in there, just to make sure my button is secure. Actually, funny story this morning. I was sewing on a button on my shirt at 4:30 this morning. Don't know why. My button decided to come off at 4:30. I'm sewing a button on.
Well,
Things you do, eh?
You need sometimes. Yeah, there.
There we go. So I'm just going to finish that button off there. Okay, nice and simple. Going to snip that off. There we go. Pop my needle back in, Edward. Sorry, Edward.
Yeah.
There we go. So I'm going to turn that over. So we've got our button there. We've got our flap over. Okay, this is where we can start constructing it and finishing the actual case of the envelope. So what we've got here, we're going to turn our flaps in. Right. You can see here on the overhead you've got your fuser web. So I'm just going to peel that off, he says. This is the little tricky bit. Again, crispy piece of paper. Do the other side as well.
If it's not crispy, it means that it needs more ironing?
It generally, it won't come off. You'll know it'll be a little bit tricky to come off, so you will have to put a bit more heat on there. So I'm just going to fold those in, fold my flap up, and then get my iron. Okay, and then we're going to iron that so it bonds those sides together. Very much like a traditional envelope where you're using glue. We're using fuser web on the actual fabric, and the key with the fuser web as well, that unlike glue, sometimes you get that wet glue coming through your fabric and it does leave a mark.
Absolutely.
I don't know what, there's not many glues out there that doesn't, and I'm clumsy, so I get glue everywhere. So this is really nice and neat and easy to use. So straight away there, you can start to see, I'm going to fold my flap over, and because you've got the 2 layers of fabric plus the fuser web in there, it just gives you that rigidness that instead of having to cut and do a little buttonhole, all I'm going to do is going to mark where my button is, very simple there, and I'm going to fold it over, just make sure, just get a little pin and just pop it in the hole so I know where that is, okay, and then we're going to fold that over and we'll do a little snip, like so, just make sure it's big enough, a little bit bigger for my button. Because you've got those layers, it keeps it nice and stiff in that middle bit there. Let's put them away a minute, and then we can put our little button through the little hole, like so. There we go.
Perfect.
And we've got our lovely, you can see there, a little mini envelope to put our bank cards in, Paula's teeth.
I have got real teeth.
or just some little notes in there
otherwise.
as well. So it's just a really nice little make. Very, very simple, easy to do at home.
Absolutely.
There we go.
I mean, it only has taken you about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
to make.
for me, that's it. 5-10 minute crafts. My attention span, that's about me
right.
done.
Well, it is fabulous. I think a lot of people can relate to having a small amount of time to craft, but that's the joy, to have whatever time you have to craft, to enjoy it, to have it easy, to make sure that you can delve into creating something that you can be proud and is useful. And this is what the bundle that you have got here. It's the envelope kit. Now, what includes is the printed template, which means straight away, like Joe has demonstrated, you have got a project, a direction to do. A 10, 15, 20 minutes project. You have in here also sentiments that you can already, iron onto the project if you want. I love the Stay Safe one. Outstanding, darling. Outstanding.
A little story about that word. That is a lot of the lads, because I coach football.
Yes.
Obviously, at the moment, we can't be coaching, but they do take the mickey of me sometimes because I do say the word outstanding at football a lot.
Yeah, well.
So that had to go in there.
But that's good. It's a good one. Now, of course, make you have there as well. Craft, best wishes. You have then the print, well, the fabric with your beautiful, glorious prints. Different ones in here as well. You said it was 10 inches square?
They're 10-inch squares, yeah.
Absolutely. So that kind of is like a layer cake sort of size. So that it means that if you have got, maybe you have patterns for 10-inch squares as well. So that kind of be another way of adding, like different projects to it. You have, again, an A4 size of fusel web as well. So then you can have, you have as well the calico A4. So then you can print your own, and you can use this as a backing of a different project. You could use, for instance, some of the fabric. Remember, this one wouldn't be contents may vary. You are going to get this print. But for instance, I think this makes a lovely, maybe fussy cut the elements into here.
No, definitely. You could indeed, because there's so many on, even that small piece of fabric, you've got so many different pieces on there that you cut out.
Absolutely. Gorgeous, and I love that it's multi-directional as well. Talking about multi-directional as well, we have got here the houses with the trees. Such a cute one. This could be, I still have, you made in one of the shows last year or the year before, a keychain with a handle.
Yeah.
I still got it. It's such a good, so you could have that as well for the key.
Because it's a really nice small design. That's why I've chose the fabrics, because they're small designs that we can use in mixed media as well, because sometimes you'll see a fabric and the design is too big to use. It's a beautiful design, but it's just too big. So these are really nice small designs.
And what is the fabric in here in the front?
So that's a little bit of plain line in there as well. So you've got a plain one to match in, so you've got something extra there.
Absolutely, and then the hessian as well. So you have all this bundle for just $12.99 with the buttons and the pack as well, which also gives a little bit of texture and different kind of finishes and of course possibilities for just £12.99 with a saving of £4. Well, if you wanted to make it, Joe, you can. The item number you need is 281724. Right, moving on to the stash box. Very busy for the stash box. It's the favorite this hour, and I think whenever I think of Make It Joe, now I think of the stash box.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you know what it came from as well? Because I will mention that the purple boxes, my giveaways.
Okay, yeah.
So it was that little inspiration as well. So if you do make the purchase in the hour, as all my shows, I've got 4 of these the contents of these lovely boxes, and they may be small, but they are. There's a lot in there. So 4 lucky people, I'll do it live on my Facebook page, either later or tomorrow, will get one of those extras in their parcel through the door. So it's a real nice surprise as well.
Well, that's another reason to check out your baskets to be eligible to enter the competition. However, look at if you want to be certain that you are going to get a big box of elements that you don't know what you are getting, but it's going to be full to the rim with absolutely
You've got some lovely organza
elements
there, and I know there's a lovely lady, Carol, who asked me about organza actually, and it was what can you use it for other than, I know I've made pom-poms with it, but it is great for embroidery.
Absolutely.
So, you know, your Rowan-Dean kits
Absolutely.
and things like that, it's beautiful that. So hopefully I'll get to do something for Carol as well in a couple of weeks and show her what else we can do with it.
And you can see some beautiful florals with, this is more of a canvas weight, I think.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a heavy weight, so you will get that mixture in there. So don't worry that you're just getting lighter weights. There is a variety in there. You know, it's that element of joy that you open up and something you don't know what's going to be in there. You might get something that's there, it's on the desk at the moment, you might not.
Oh, look at that. I love the lavenders.
That one might be a little bit short because Paola's got her eye on some of the fabrics.
Yes, I do. I mean, there is also some, is this wadding?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of wadding in there.
I mean, that's brilliant because I mean, obviously contents will vary, but having that sort of, oh, you know what, I always wanted to try this type of fabric, but you don't necessarily want to buy a meter or a half meter or even
definitely.
a quarter. It's also an experimental pack that you don't have to commit yourself to big quantities, but you are going to get that variety that allows you to kind of, like we were saying, the mojo buster, that kind of suddenly, look
A little bit of linen in that one.
Yeah, look at that. Weaving and then
Inspiring, weaving, texting.
Texturing. Creating, yeah, that's
Love
fab.
that. So again,
I
there's
love that.
elements there that we can cut out, we can make things. There's a table runner there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really nice for a countryside cottage or something like that. Calico, and of course the peg, bits and pieces that are perfect to, you know, sometimes we need to ignite our creativity with a buster of kind of color and texture and different weights of fabric, and this is it. Contents will vary, but that's the beauty of it, to open that box and be, you know, surprised and excited about what is at the bottom of it. Right, £19.99 is your price. You are saving £5. 126261 is your item number. Like that number. Anyway, then we are going to look at the roll of Feefo web and calico, 1.5 meters of each in here. So many different possibilities with this.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's the key because there's a lot on there. It will last you for sure. If you're doing the makes or if you're doing the printing like I'm going to do in the next demo, we can cut a piece off. If you haven't gone for the actual envelope kit, we can still create that same element using stash from our box and using the Feefo web and the calico as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I really would like to do that kind of, I really love Japanese calligraphy.
Yes.
So yeah, you know, this kind of, you can print or the patterns for Japanese or paint it and then just hang it up in the stairs, you know, just and it's not that often that you see this sort of length into smaller width. And it's very elegant. A table runner as well. You could, I mean, certain printers allow you to print with a roll, so you could print like different pictures into here.
Ah, I like that.
Or for a wedding. Oh, I know. So for instance, our Charlotte has a Cricut machine.
Yeah.
Or I have got a silhouette, so let's mention both. And you can create vinyl, so you can then use it as a stencil.
Perfect.
So fabric paint, so you could do like for a wedding or something like celebration, you could say Mr. and Mrs., their names on it. And then of course that can be a keepsake, because that kind of is
Yeah,
fabric.
I mean, I've done a similar thing with table runner where you could have that as your table runner, but have fabric pens and paints out. So then just keep developing it, and every time you get it out, a little bit of fun at the table as well. So the inspiration where you can do doodles, whether it's noughts and crosses on there, but just keep it developing as a table runner.
I love that. Creating a table runner that you can print your own games onto it as well. And the other thing you could of course, as long as you use fabric paints and things like that, you iron on the back and then you can wash it again.
Definitely.
Fabulous. Now, so many possibilities. $11.99. That's a very low price for all that creativity, isn't it? You are saving £3. 812514 is your item number. Now, if you want some color in your life, well, you can go for a Poplin and pick a mix of two. You choose whichever two colors you want, or it could be two of the same ones, in which case it will be a continuous piece. It will be a full meter. Now, 100% cotton Poplin. Joe, what do we use it for?
Yeah, so like we were saying earlier, it's perfect for your quilting, your patchworking, you know, your dressmaking, your lining. I use it a lot for just backing things as well, so that I can have a bit of block colour. So if I was going to put one of my little fabrics in there from the envelope kit, and I could choose it put that along the counter and have a little look and see which backing would go with it. You know, there's so much variety there, but the weight is lovely. It really is a nice soft poplin weight. Some poplins you'll find are quite stiff. You know, they don't drape very well, so they're not 100% cotton, whereas these are 100% cotton. And the Material Magic guys, they really do know their fabrics, and it's a beautiful range of colours there that I think there's pretty much every colour that we would need.
Absolutely. I mean, I always kind of look for whites, blacks, reds. I mean, that's my staple. But then I'm kind of thinking sometimes when you need to bind your fabric, you know, your quills or sashing, then I kind of start looking for more neutral. So, for instance, your taupe is in here, your soft lilac, your strong lilac, your pink, your mint, your, you know, beautiful kind of navies, your blues, your indigos, your teal, your terracotta, your off-white, your creams, your lighter grays. You know, it's all those colors that you need. And of course, at $9.99, you are getting a meter of poplin, which is super soft, super beautiful. And of course, being 100% cotton makes a lot of sense to invest in it for your quilts. 079751 is your item number. Now, in the website, you will find the 7 days savers, which you will find the, for instance, so if you wanted some assorted metallic threads, we have that for you. $9.99 is the price. You're saving, well, you are saving, I think, £7 in that one. Now you also have, oh well, if you like some yarn, you have the spaghetti, cotton spaghetti t-shirt. Now different options. Oh, a spaghetti t-shirt yarn.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what? That must be really nice to wear because it has that cotton, you know, easy wear from the t-shirt. Oh, look at that strawberry
blue. That's a beautiful colour.
Yeah, red wine. That probably is more me. And of course, there you have scissors as well, the craft scissors. You could cover the MDF with some fabric as well, so you can do that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can use diffuser web as well on MDF. So.
Oh yeah, of course. That would make it so much easier to attach it without having.
Yeah, no, it's perfect because it gets a great finish, so there's no creases or anything.
Absolutely. Right, if you want to have a look at the website, do have 7 day savers and you'll have all those items there. Right, Joe, what are you going to show us?
Right, so we're going to grab from the kit itself, we've got the A4 extra calico and the A4 extra fuser web as well. Obviously, we can cut these if we've got our rolls or if we're buying it in the roll, but just to show you, this is why I put that extra in there. So we're going to bond them together. So we've got the fuser web and the calico, just making sure they're all in line. Okay, and we'll get my little trusty iron just to keep them over. Okay, and this is what we're creating is our printing sheet, and we were talking about it earlier about pictures and images and things, so we'll have a go at using it on an image just to show you what it comes out like. So we're just going to bond that on. Okay, there we go. I always find when I'm using the fuser web onto fabric, do it a little bit on the fabric side and then turn it over and do the paper side as well. So you'll start to see, and on the overhead there you might see, I'll try and hold it up when I've done a little bit more, the Gore-Tex, so the crisscross effect of the glue coming through. You then know that it has stuck, okay? Yeah. So we're just going to give it a bit more heat to make sure that it has stuck. There we go, like so. It is one of those, there's no right or wrong way. We've all got different irons, different heat, but just play around with it. Okay, a little bit more around the edges, just making sure it's all bonded. Okay, let's have a little look. That looks good to me. I'm just going to do one more on this side. You can see as well, it was a little bit creased, the calico, but because it's bonded to the fuser web, it gets rid of all the creases on there as well. So you haven't got those creased elements.
It's such a time saver, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, I mean, if I've got spare time, I make sheets up. I love it because I can use it on different projects, different makes, different gifts as well. So I've got my trusty old printer here, and what I've done, I just grabbed actually some images here, just some photos, some little stones there. But there's one here, a little bit of artwork from Lily. So her little 2020 Stay Safe little inspiration there that she's drawn. She's very creative in all medias.
And I love the mask, how the art and the mask and the plants.
It's really good. So she's always doing different things. So I think that'll make a really nice little picture. So what we'll do on the top of this, I'm just going to move this out of the way. Okay, and I'll put the little images in there so we're not wasting as well. So we don't want to waste them. Okay, that one will go in there. That will go in there. Yeah. So they should all fit. So we'll pop them in the top of my printer. It even says Lily's artwork on the back of the picture.
Well, that's good. I mean, did you find otherwise that you... Well, I mean, you wouldn't forget that it's Lily's picture, but I have been going through old pictures the last few days, and, you know, I kind of said, oh, when was that? Where was that?
Yeah,
you know,
no,
and it's
yeah.
good to write.
No, definitely. Keep the dates on there. So you can see straight away, I've got my sheet there, it's calico on the top. I know my printer prints from the top, not the bottom.
Yeah.
So always know which side you do it. If you want to do a test, just mark an X on your piece of paper, and then you'll know what's coming through. So I'm just going to feed this in. Okay, to the bottom of my printer, it says, just making sure that it's flat, and then hopefully, if it's turned on, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that it works.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
I'll pull that out. Okay, it's any printer as well. So I've tried with different printers, inkjet, laserjet.
Yeah.
So don't worry, you know, have a go. Because of the thinness of the fuser web and the calico, there's no difference to having a thick piece of paper.
Right.
Okay, or a light card. It's
Yeah.
about the same difference.
Absolutely.
So instantly, oh yes.
That was very
This
quick.
is the reveal
printer.
now, isn't it? So straight away,
Oh, I love
we've got that. If I put it on the overhead, and then we can see there the little images where they've printed, put it the right way up, you can see that. The beautiful little stones there, little pebbles, little printing of the pictures there. So I've got artwork on my fabric that I can either paint, I can embroider on. But what I'm going to do, I've got one of the frames, you will get one of these little frames in your stash box, these little MDF frames, and I've actually painted this one already in white. So it's a nice finish. I'm going to have a look at one of these pictures. Should we go for Lily's there? No, I think we'll do the pebbles. I think the pebbles will look good in there. So I'm going to cut the pebbles out. Okay, like so. Nice and easy. It's a little image on there. Really just show you. Obviously, like if I had, this is black and white, this printer, but if I had a colour printer, we'd get the colour in there as well. But I quite like the fact that it's a little bit black and white, and maybe I could get some fabric paints at home and do some detail on there as well. Okay, so we're going to cut that out.
I was thinking as well, like, you know, a lot of people who watch us now, they are multi-crafters. They have stamps in their homes, rubber stamps, clear stamps. If you don't have a printer, use your stamps into it.
Yeah,
you know,
no, definitely.
Kind of,
yeah.
Also, there are ways of, if you don't have a printer, you know, you can take it up sometimes to, you know, printers, or you can. We have also the transfer. I think on the website you can find it, transfer mediums as well.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah,
there's a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with it. So I want to grab a little bit of plain lining that's in my little kit there as well. So we're going to pop that down there.
Is that the frame that would be included in the stash bag?
So you may get a rectangle, you may get a square, you get all different sorts on there.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm just going to mark that, and we're going to cut that to size. Okay, just a little snip there. So we're going to cut this piece of fabric as a little bit of a backing. Okay. Obviously at home I'd take a little bit more time.
The sound of those scissors.
You said you lost all your scissors?
Yeah, well, my fabric scissors, and but especially my rotary cutters, that's what I'm just the worst, most upset about.
So I've just roughly cut that to the size there. I'll just snip that end off there, so we've got a little play. And what we're going to do is just use this as a backer, as our fabric, for our fabric picture. Okay, because I love the little pebbles actually, I think it's going to look nice. And then we're going to frame the actual frame, back of the frame with fuser web. So this is just to show you that we can put fuser web onto our MDF. Okay, so a little bit skinnier there, so I'm going to cut that off. There we go. Okay, we'll just glue that straight on. Onto the MDF, it takes seconds to glue.
You don't have to prime it, anything?
No,
or...
it'll go straight away, it'll go straight on. Okay, cut that.
I wonder, I mean, I may be completely, but if you use fuser web to use, how can I say it, paper or card, would it work?
Yes, yeah, no, definitely. Wow. If we have time, I'll try and do a little bit. Okay. Like I say, it bonds all those different surfaces, and that's the key for me and a lot of people, and including Adam said the other day as well that he's been making, and FuserWeb has given him the confidence to have a go with fabric. You know, because fabric is a little bit scary sometimes. It doesn't need to be. You know, we don't need to be great sewers. We're going to have a little play.
So if it works on